What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here, finally back with another video. Sorry, I've been, having a holiday of, Christmas and shit at home. But anyway, I'm back now. So we got a few things to discuss. No, I did not get these two things for Christmas. I found these earlier at my local Walmart. And we'll get into these, all of the fun stuff with today's video. So stick around if you guys enjoy. And let's go ahead and just jump right into things. First off, I want to start off with Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, for those of you who might not know, I can talk, I swear. For those of you who might not know this, I actually am a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I love the first two movies. I absolutely adored the third movie. And I've played some of the video games, read some of the comic books, not all of them. And have seen quite a few of the TV animated shows as well. No, I did not exactly grow up with any of them, but we'll ignore that fact. I did not get introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog until I was in middle school, but ever since then, I've loved the character and characters since. So when I saw this guy at my local Target, I lied, it was actually at Target, not at Walmart. They sell them at both locations, though. I couldn't help it. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. He is by far my favorite character of the entire Sonic universe. And I thought, you know what? He's cool. Screw it. What the hell? So, and we'll bring him back here in a little bit because I do have a quick question to ask you guys. In fact, we'll just go ahead and do it now. Excuse this mess currently. But just putting him next to a standard, 6-inch scale thing, does that look overscaled for Shadow the Hedgehog? Because if not, I'll go ahead and get Sonic and Knuckles versions of this to use alongside other videos. But if this looks out of scale or if it looks too big, then I will of course not do that. So let me know what you guys think. Does this scaling work for you, or does that look a little too out of place? And then of course we'll get into this here after a while. So, honestly, I love this figure. This is probably one of the most articulated kids action figures that you can actually get in stores right now. His fingers articulate, his hands move, articulate, he's got butterfly joints at the shoulders, he's got several different ball joints and stuff all throughout his body. To make him very, very posable. And he looks really good. He can actually stand up by himself. He's just standing on the current display base right now. But he can stand up relatively well by himself, even with his massive ass head. They've done something that actually I think is really cool, and I don't know a whole lot of other companies that are doing this. They've put like a resin or something in the eyes to make them look more wet and glossy. How actual eyes are. So that's something I don't know a whole lot if any companies really are doing that. But I do like this figure. It's definitely very well detailed. It's got you can see all the individual quills and hairs and stuff. His shoes, look like Shadow shoes. He's got the red fur on his arms. Unfortunately, his wrists up here, they do not rotate. So you can actually line it up with his glove like a lot of times Shadow the Hedgehog is known to have. So unfortunately it is on just the back of his arms. Now that could be just done for the movie's design, but I know that in some of the original cartoons and video games, a lot of times that line was lined up with his glove just to make it look more streamlined. But I guess for the movies or something, maybe it's just this version of the figure of Shadow, they did not do that. All in all, though, looks really good. I'm really happy with this, and yeah, if you guys think that scaling works alongside Marvel Legends and other 6-inch characters, then obviously he will come back. Otherwise, he'll just go into my private collection box and stay there. All right, now we have the fun part. So I found the yellow suit Wolverine at my local Walmart, not Target, unlike Shadow. And I've loved this suit. Ever since that first set photo or whatever of Hugh Jackman wearing that awesome suit. I absolutely loved that version of the suit and that Hugh Jackman look, since Hugh Jackman is A, one of my favorite actors, and B, is freaking Wolverine. You know, I went ahead and did it. The head, or the unmasked Wolverine head, looks really good. Looks just like Hugh Jackman. He also does come with one closed fist and one gripping style hand. And then really fun artwork on the back of the box as well. But we're not here to talk about the box. We're here to talk about this. Now, as you can tell, this is not a stock Wolverine. How did you figure that out? Maybe it's because of these. We'll get into that in just a little bit. So, this is actually a very easy thing to do. And if you guys want, I will do a Build-A-Figure or how-to video on how I did this. It's actually relatively easy. Anybody can do it. You just have to have a little bit of time and a little bit of patience and are willing to kill a figure to make 1 out of 2. So obviously, and I was already planning on picking up a second version of this guy anyway, because I knew if I got this suit or this Wolverine, I was going to do this look to it. So I always knew that this guy was going to get his arms removed eventually. So I just went ahead and did it yesterday. But basically, all you have to do is you literally just pull the arms out of socket. For me, it was actually relatively easy. I didn't have to heat these up in hot water or anything to get the arms out of the socket. For that one, though, I did have to do that. And then once you have the arms off, then you can heat up, drop them in hot water to get these gauntlet pieces off. And then there's a small tab that'll either fall off when you go to remove the gauntlet, or then you just have to cut it off after you have removed the arms. And then I've seen people do it without the shoulder pads. I only know one other person that has done it with the shoulder pads on. I don't remember his YouTube channel's name off the top of my head, but his video will be in the link in the description below if you guys want to look at his video and see how he did it. I will eventually probably remake this guy for the whole how to do it video, and I will probably end up using his way of doing the shoulder pads, so that way I can still have this version plus, you know, a better, more articulated version. Because this guy, he can pose worth a treat. I've had him in this pose for over 24 hours. I can still move the arms around. We'll get into all that here in a little bit. Everything on him, though, moves just like it did out of the box. His arms move just fine. They don't fall out. His hands move just a little bit hindered by the rubber on the gauntlets, but otherwise nothing major. But anyway, as a solid figure, we'll go ahead and review that part next. I know it's a review video, and I haven't reviewed this version of Wolverine at all yet. It looks spot on to the movie. It looks really good from, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine. But like I said, I as a figure as a whole, you know, stock arms included, I'm going to say it's a solid 9 out of 10. I do wish, however, that Marvel Legends would make swappable arms for this version of Wolverine, especially since A, it can obviously be done, and B, he was sleeveless through half of the movie. So, or half of his appearance on the movie was with sleeves, the other half was without sleeves. So I wish they had kind of done it where you could do it either way. But anyway, now that that part's out of the way, we can get into the custom side of things. So basically what I did is like I said, took his arms off. Very, very difficult to get his arms off, at least for me it was. This one, however, it was not. It was, you literally just pop them out, and then you take the gasket piece, this black ring, and you simply slide it over his shoulder onto that secondary peg right here. So there's one line right there, there's another one right there. Lock this in place, pop the shoulder back into place, or pop that shoulder right back into his arm, and it will not really fall out on you unless you actually pull it. And then you'll still be able to move the arm up and down, side to side, up and down, and butterfly all that wonderfulness, just like it did beforehand. So hang on, I'm going to pan the camera up just a little. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, once you, even though we've taken the bare skinned arm and popped it into that black piece. That black piece actually is what holds a lot of this in, because this peg doesn't actually peg into that ball joint. That is what this does. So when you peg that in there, then you can have the swivel, the hinge, and butterfly and everything else. But with this black piece, you don't need that. You can just simply pop it in, and you can still get a relatively good range and actually pull on the arm and it not pop out. I've seen people take, I think, different style of joints, and they'll like kit bash different shoulder pieces and whatnot, so they do work with the ball joints that are inside the arm. I did not do that because I did not care. This way works just as well, and you can still get a relatively good range of motion out of it as well, unhindered, and still, unless you're actually trying to pull it out, you can literally pull on these and they're not going to do anything unless you are actually trying to straight up remove it. So, and yes, obviously the shoulder pads are glued onto his torso, and not how the other guy did it, where it was on twisty ties, so they can actually be moved into proper positions. I will eventually do that on a different one, unless I figure out a better way to have the shoulder pads on there. So, and then like I said, the wrists are able to swivel and rotate and bend. Even with this gauntlet piece on, it is a little bit more stiff because I didn't heat these up enough to slide them all the way on. So right now it's tight enough to where it's not a big issue, but obviously it could be a hell of a lot better. Now, what is the okay, so my camera is being annoying right now. There it goes. No, shit. Alright, good enough. So yeah, no, the wrist does rotate all the way and whatnot, even with that rubber piece on there on both hands. It's a little bit more stiff on his right and on his left arm than it is his right, but it's not too bad. I can still, rotate his hand. I just have to have a little bit extra friction with it. It's just a little bit more friction, but it still is work. I swear I can talk today. The bare Logan arms were not modified at all. The only thing that was modified on this was the shoulder pads and the gauntlet pieces. Otherwise, everything else is switchable, which is still half the battle if you want to do this type of look. But obviously, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, and I will be using this as my Wolverine for the Connected Universe version of Wolverine, because I was going to have Hugh Jackman's look for Wolverine anyway, and which is another reason why I wanted to pick this guy up anyway, was so that way I could do the sleeveless look to give myself a more comic book accurate Hugh Jackman style Wolverine. Just because I love the Wolverine suit from Deadpool and Wolverine, and I love the sleeveless look from the comic books, so I said screw it and did it myself. The only thing that I also did was up here on his mutton chops. They were not painted. They were molded, but they weren't painted. And I just took some brown paint and just literally tacked it right there. It's very it looks so much better than it did when I actually got this guy. because it looked off-putting as all hell. But now it actually does look like hair right there. And the color match to his actual hair is pretty close to it, so I'm happy with it. So let me know what you guys think of my customized comic book inspired Hugh Jackman Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine. And real quick, just as a side-by-side comparison, it's almost night and day. I'm kidding, though. This guy is going to be in the connected universe. This guy is going to be put on a shelf somewhere else. But 100% when I do this look again for a potential how to do it video, that version will be used in the connected universe versus this guy will be on a shelf since it's a prototype of what I was actually able to accomplish. And I didn't actually think I'd be able to do it, and I actually ended up doing it rather well. So yes, the shoulder pads look a little off-putting. That's why I'm going to redo it at some point anyway. But as a first trial run, I think this actually worked really well. So let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys all later. And like I said, real quick, please let me know down in the comments. Does that... Whoops. Wolverine... Oh, both Wolverines just died. Does that scaling for Shadow look too off-putting? Do you guys think he looks a little too big? If not, or if so, then I'll just ignore this and find another version of Shadow for the connected universe stuff at some point. But let me know what you guys think. Does that look too overscaled for a Sonic the Hedgehog style character, or do you think it works? And thank you guys again, and I'll catch you guys on next time. Bye.